What's up, my beautifully creepy, freaky fear family? It's me, here the GreatWhite. I told you I wasn't going anywhere. Besides, everyone knows fear is never truly gone. It may lie dormant for a short time, but soon it always comes creeping back in, stronger, more terrifying than ever. Just like me. In case you didn't know, I'm Fear the GreatWhite. And I'm back, remasked, old school style. Hope you're all having a beautiful January the 13th. Today's a wonderful day. My lovely little lady Fear, turns 8 years old today. So what's not to celebrate? As a matter of fact, today, you could even call me Fear the Great Cake Baker. But enough of my many talents. Today, I'm not going to read you a creepypasta. I'm not going to tell you or read you somebody else's story or somebody else's true story. I'm going to tell you mine while I'm looking you in the eye. But it's hard to decide which one, because there's literally so many, and most of them tie together, so we may get into a couple of them. We'll start with the experience I had after someone didn't have enough sense to check in to figure out what they were doing before they started dabbling with the Ouija board. The someone could have been a wife at the time, maybe. Who knows? Just Fear getting married. Unfortunately, yeah. But Fear also gets divorced, luckily. Anywho, let's get on to the story. We lived in a small, originally a 2-room house that had been built onto over the years and added a kitchen, dining room, and even an indoor bathroom. Because when this house was built, it was in like the 30s, and there were no indoor bathrooms. Now, I loved this little house. Number one reason, the lady that owned it let us live there rent free, just for keeping the place up. So, instant love. But, as I would later find out, a lot of strange shit went on in that house and around that house. Now, this house was situated right next door to a church which just happened to be the church that I attended for most of my adolescent years. This is the house that I was living in at the time, and I was standing on the front porch at the time when me along with the ex-wife, her friend, my friend, and another friend of mine, brothers. I mean, they were my brothers. They're not technically brothers. We're not technically brothers. You know what I mean. We might have partaken of some chemicals that alter your perception of reality, but I've never known 5 people, 4, for sure 4, maybe 5. Memory's a little fuzzy. Everyone there saw this werewolf, basically. It was it's like the Incredible freaking Hulk with a dog's head, or a wolf's head. It looked just like freaking Van Helsing, honestly. And I unloaded a .357 Magnum in this thing, and it just growled and snarled and beat the crap out of the side of the house. And it made about 7 laps around the house. And the one of my buddies that's still alive, the only one that was there at the time that I still have contact with and is alive, he's coming on someday, hopefully soon, and he's going to tell what he remembers of that night. Me and him had a discussion about it just the other day. Anyway, we were pretty out there ourselves, you know. Feeling a pretty good bender with some manufactured chemicals at the time. This has been 2001, maybe 2001, 2002. So it's been quite some time ago. So, yeah, statute of limitations and all that good stuff. Moving right along. You know, people take drugs and trip every day and see weird shit. That's no big deal. 4, 5 people taking the same drug. I've never heard of them seeing the same hallucinations. You know, they might have seen the same real thing and saw it in, you know, slightly different perceptions, but even if 5 people out there on something saw the same real creature and were just perceiving it all weird, their perceptions would never have matched up like perfectly as ours did. And this thing, literally, I thought it was going to bust the walls down of the house. I unloaded the .357 Magnum into it, not at it, not near it, but dead center mass. And it just growled and snarled. And it was moving away. After that, when it started moving away, we started chasing it. And if I'm not mistaken, I unloaded again on it. And I think even my buddy put several .38 rounds into it. But this thing never went down. This thing never even flinched, really. It just pissed him off like a bee sting. And I heard this thing for the whole time I lived there. I would hear growling and howling, just shake the walls, howling. This is not that rural of a place. You know, it's fairly rural, you know, it's 3 miles from the small town, but this is not 40 miles up in the back country. There was a house, the lady that owned the house we lived in lived 50 yards down the road, and this is just a small growed up thicket in between her house and mine, and ran for probably 2 acres, 3 acres behind my house, which is where this thing spent most of its time apparently. But that was the only time I saw it there. I don't know if it's the same creature I encountered when I was a kid here, close to the house. It's less than 2 miles from the place where I grew up, where that encounter happened, and the place where I grew up is where I had the first encounter with the one brushing against me. But, alright, back to the Ouija board story. Me and my buddies had been gone, and we were gone buying groceries. No sense in bullshitting. This was the same time. This was within like a week or so, or a couple weeks. And actually, the dogman, werewolf, whatever thing came after this. And really, I thought it was a demon because of this, what I'm supposed to tell you. When we came back in, my ex-wife, a couple of her friends, decided they were going to be witches, and they were playing with the Ouija board. You know, there were going to be Wiccans and whatnot, just dabbling, having no, you know, really having no clue what they were doing. Or it seems to me like, I don't know, I can't speak for them. I think they were just trying to be edgy. But anyway, they had some contact with something, and they communicated with this thing that called itself a witch, that directed them to go to like 3 miles down the road to this old abandoned church on the edge of the creek bank, which has now been totally washed away by the creek. And the totally washing away happened like 3 weeks after this occurred. We get to this old church, and I was born and raised my whole life as a Church of Christ Christian. I was dead set against all the witchcraft, basically. You know, I thought this was crazy. We get to this church, we go inside. That's the last thing I remember from my own memory for anything that occurred that night. But when it's all said and done, I come out of that church with a very old songbook and a very old, fairly strange looking Bible that all of them say that I went straight to, like I was the one that hid it there or something, you know, or like something was leading me to it. And when I came out, I had deep scratches or cuts. It looked like somebody had taken a serrated pocket knife and just sliced up my back. Which obviously I can't see my back, so 15 years ago, I would say I probably still have the scars, but I'm almost 100% convinced that I was either possessed or oppressed by some sort of demonic entity. I don't think it was ever really, what most people would think of as a witch. It wasn't the old hag that lives out in the middle of the woods, I'm pretty sure. So, come out of this church, I'm all scratched up. I'm out of it. I mean, they say that, I remember bits and pieces of going to the church, which, according to them, I'm the one that came up with the whole idea of going to the church, that I just made them get in the truck and I drove in there like a zombie. I mean, I remember the ride there, but I don't remember driving. But according to them, I think I drove home too, according to them. And I don't remember any of that whatsoever. And basically, ever since then, I've had this dark, shadowy thing that likes to hang around fairly close to me and enjoys trying to startle people, or startle me, mostly. Fairly regular. And I'm fairly convinced that this entity that follows me around is the same entity that I talked to on the spirit box recently, which is probably not that great of an idea either. And I'm even more convinced that it's demonic, and I'm pretty sure that it's even the same entity that oppressed me or possessed me or whatever happened that night. Because, I don't know, this thing on the spirit box, every time I start asking for a name, it starts spitting out Belial, Lilith, Lucifer, Satan, Legion, Beelzebub, Belshazzar, just every name you can think of that you've ever heard the devil called or whatever, or demons called. Honestly, it's been going on for me so long that until other people, after I got into YouTube community, other people that I've been on calls with and stuff noticed it and mentioned how not normal it was. It never even occurred to me to start documenting it and then posting it for y'all, and even to try to tell the story about it. I hope that made a little bit of sense. That was all just off the cuff. None of it rehearsed, none of it even pre-thought out. I had no idea which story I was going to tell you when I started this. I really had no idea I was going to tell you one of my stories when I started this. Basically, I was just going to come on here and say thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you for all the support. And tell you guys that I love you. But figured I'd give you a little treat. Hopefully you see it as a treat and not a torture. Whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm about to run out of memory on this video. And I'm about to run out of battery. So leave me a like, comment, share. Leave me a dislike. Sorry about the unit kicking off. Let me know what you think about it. As always, don't forget to click that sub button if you want to join this Freaky Fear family. Hit the little bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers recently, and all the old subscribers that have been with me through thick and thin. You guys are what drives everything. Without you, there's nothing. So, anyway, I appreciate you. As always, I am Fear the Great White. You're fucking awesome. I love you all. And I'm out. Bye.